You're Black Power, Black Power. This the boy Swap Boss. You already know, man. Snapping off, stand up. AOI, stand up. Black people stand up. The world stand up. The world, if you're righteous and you're truthful and you're powerful and you love yourself and you love others as yourself and you ain't got no hate in your heart, no envy in your heart, no jealousy in your heart, clarity of mind, and even when you don't have extreme clarity of mind, it's still easy because you never step outside your zone, your moral standing, never step outside your lane. It's the boy Swap Boss, man. It's the Argument League. We back live. What we talking about, man? Let me put that invite link out there so whoever want to jump on can jump on. Let me see. Let me see. So whoever want to jump. Oh, it's taking a second to load the chat for some reason. Let me see. Oh, it's taking a second to load the chat for some reason. Let me see. Nah. Look at that. They're not even giving me my chat right quick. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. No chat. They not giving me no chat. Hold on. Okay, hold on.
All the guys that use that as a predatory tool.
Yeah, the predatory tool, yeah.
They prey on those girls that are looking for a father figure.
But check this out though. Look at this though. Even from back in the days, like back in time, like you will see young women, they'll be married off to older men and stuff like that, in tribes and villages, and you know what I'm saying. And the parents will marry them off, and it was always like that. And
okay, now it's giving me. Let me see. You can see me, I can't see you. Okay, I got my chat now. Yeah, I got my chat now. Hold on. Let me go to my channel. There you go. There you go. Okay, it's pinned. Shout out to Shabo, man. Hood Therapy, man. Subscribe to that channel. You want to check out some reviews on some good TV shows, movies. Definitely entertaining. And shout out to you in real life, Hood Therapy. Shout out to everybody watching. It's not saying nothing. Peace to you. I hope you come in peace and love and strength. We in the building. Link is pinned to the top. Today is the day before my girl's son open house. She graduated a few weeks ago. And tomorrow she's doing like an open house. You know, so we got the food with the game. So today we're preparing that, putting together the games. Yeah, gotta go get a little bit of, you know, food to prepare. But we definitely here. We got some stuff on the table, man. We got Gunna, Young Thug, Lil Baby. We got Polite Case, the Polite Case going down. We got the Titan submarine imploding. These YouTube streets. Shout out to the sister Holly in the building. Shout out to you, sis. Shout out to you, sis. Thanks for the congratulations. I'ma definitely tell her. It's the boy, man. So y'all already know we maintaining. Maintaining. Maybe I really need to. Let me see. Oh, it'll let you upload some video clips up? Hell nah. Okay, that's tight. Without upgrading? Oh, which side of video? What videos do I have? I ain't had Stream, y'all. I just made this account. I don't remember my old one. But of course it was tied to my old email that was hacked and deactivated and all type of messy stuff. But yeah, we still here. We still here. So trying to wait for a couple of panelists, a couple of conversationalists to come up. And we had MJ and Tequila and Lance and Goldmine, a few other people last time. Queen Cascade. Or my sister Lima. And that's just what it is, man. That's just what it is. Let me go back into the Why Men Deserve. Last shout out to you. Peace, 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 peace. And yeah, that's it. I was thinking about going live, doing some reaction videos, going down to World Star Hip Hop, what's the name? I checked out Taz Stream. If y'all ain't seen that, check out Taz Stream. Shit ages crazy. If y'all was around before when the shit went down, and you're still here now to see the evolution of it, the following chapters, shit age kind of crazy. Sonetta, Polite. Yeah, man. So I'm hearing something about Polite's supposed to be taking a plea deal. Well, there's a plea deal on the table. If you're considering a plea deal, you consider the plea deal for one or two reasons. One, you're guilty. Two, you don't think you could beat this case anyway. And I mean, we're talking about a sexual abuse, rape. So I mean, if y'all remember the evidence, there was like a bunch of fucking semen stains on this girl clothes, an underage girl who said she went to a hotel, who said Polite took her to a club. Me, Taz, and Nyland went out to the club and, you know, showed y'all what it was. And then, they're saying, they said he took her back to a hotel, gave her something to drink. She passed out, woke up. But there was like some dancing going on, but woke up sore in certain places. I think she said around her mouth and stuff like that, and had semen stains on her. And this was a girl that he was dealing with, daughter. There's no way your lawyer should be telling you to plead to anything. But a lot of the times, this is what happens. They say, well, I didn't plead to the rape. I pled to intoxication of a minor, contributing to the delinquency of a minor. Because that's what these cases do. They're hoping to knock out one charge in order to... They're hoping to take out one charge in order to get a guilty verdict for the other charge. Now, Polite, Eugene, is a celebrity of a sort. Celebrities have privileges in these courts, especially in the Miamis, and the Vegases, and the LAs, and the Hollywoods, and, you know, places like that. So, I mean, of course we're going to be speculating. But it's going to be logical. It's going to have sense. It's going to have evidence. It's going to show a pattern. But a lot of these celebrities, when you get into these statuses, these judges, these higher ups, the law, understand being attracted to minors, dealing with minors. So many influential people with the bag come through the courts with charges like these. They don't look at it how we look at it. They don't look at it like this was the most disgusting thing ever done to someone and this person deserves the most bogus treatment they could get. No, they look at it as this person was sick. Or this person was drunk. You know? Because they imagine we all have thoughts like that. How could you not be attracted to a 15-year-old, a 16-year-old, a 17-year-old? This is how they look at it. All of the grown women are trying to have bodies like little girls. They don't want the stretch marks. They don't want the stomach. They don't want the rolls. They don't want the cellulite. They want the body of a 15, 16, 17-year-old. And so when you get into these courts, you will find that they sympathize with a lot of these predators. Some of them even tell you they was preyed on. But you would think the rape allegations would be the major thing, but a lot of the times it's not. Shout out to my brother Goldman, Tree Tribe TV. A lot of times it's not. A lot of times they say, well, we seek to get this person help. You know, you as common folk don't understand. But a lot of influential people with money comes through there with sexual allegations and they walk away with charges and being convicted of something, but not the sexual stuff, because the sexual stuff it affects you a little bit deeper when it comes to making your money, when it comes to networking. They don't want that on your history, you know, your criminal history. Oh, he pled guilty to this. He pled guilty to that. He was found guilty of this. He was found guilty of that. So if you plead to the delinquency of a minor, right? Because that's what a plea deal is. You commit one crime. We'll drop it to a lesser charge if you plead to it. So we won't hit you with the sexual misconduct. We won't hit you with the rape, the molestation. But we'll hit you with contributing to the delinquency of a minor. And he'll plead to that and stand bold and say, I never pled guilty to rape. I never pled guilty to molestation. I pled to delinquency of a minor. And how many of y'all has let a young woman who's mature for her age have a drink? This is how they talk. This is their mentality. This is their mentality. So that's going to be interesting to see. I would like to get some panelists talk about that. The Titan. So 4 white men takes a 19-year-old. Okay, I'm not holding a 19-year-old responsible, you know, but a billionaire has the most raggedy looking submarine. Like, it's really a joke of a submarine. It looked like a basic drone that's controlled by a off-brand PlayStation controller. So this billionaire jumps on this built in the backyard submarine and names it the Titan, and goes to visit the sunken leftovers of the Titanic. Like, it already, what the fuck? For one, the Titanic mean a lot. Yes, it was an off-brand PlayStation controller. It wasn't even a PlayStation 4 controller. It wasn't a MacBook. It wasn't nothing of the sophisticated type. It was a off-brand controller. He said, and we brought extra controllers in case something happened. What is 2 off-brand PlayStation controllers going to do? So now it's been discovered that, of course, the sub imploded up on the way to the ocean. And this dumb motherfucker, Rick Ross, I want to see if I can find this video. Let me see. Rick Ross. Tether. So this is what Richmond Ross had to say. This is 9 Mag. I don't want the theatrics. I just want the quote, man. Let me just get what the fuck he said.
It's a lot of youngsters shining right now.
Like one time, real
Above
talk,
water, so once you
I can't stand the way Rick Ross talks. I just gotta let y'all know. I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's good or bad. I don't know how y'all look at it. Just a fun fact. But I can't stand people who purposely try to talk like a boss, like a mobster, like he's smart. You know, nice beard though. His beard game is completely on point. Okay, I guess I'll just share this one. It don't matter. They need to float back up so we can take their wallets. I hear that. I'll show that again. Let's go. Okay. Let me show this. Shout out to 9 Man.
Rick Ross speaks out on the so unfortunate about the news submarine being lost at sea. Sending the prayers to the families. The only question I had, and no, I'm not a seologist. Only question I had was why wasn't the submarine tethered, meaning having a cable attached to the rear of it all the way to the top. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Above water, so once you lose communication, you can hit a button and it pull it all the way back to the top. If you lose your phone, you could find your phone. If you lose tracking devices everywhere, how you weren't able to track this? That's the question. Speaking to the hustlers, what the you doing today? You just watch it. Just get money thinking they doing something unique. They not. They just grinding the system that they put in place, whether it was a year ago, 2 years.
Okay, so first of all, a seologist is not a real thing. So no one's a seologist, Mr. Rick. Why they don't have the submarine tether? I mean, he wants a wire tied to the submarine so that it always be like a float on top of the surface of the water that gives you the location of the submarine. Because that's stupid. You're going down hundreds, if not thousands of feet. The wire can get caught on things. There's fish in the ocean, debris in the ocean. Might be other vehicles in the ocean. But you want to tie a rope to the submarine, and the submarine plans on going down and maneuvering around the wreck of the Titanic. That cord can get caught on something. Second of all, if you think tie a string to the tree to find your way back through the woods is going to work in the ocean with a sub, if you even have to try that, don't get on a sub. There's no reason to try to nigga rig a sub. No. They got GPS tracking. That's the best string you can have right there. These people knew what happened to the submarine. That's my dog. Shout out to Abdul Brandon Top Bay is in the building. Shout out to you, big dog. Why men deserve, let's say Rick needs to chill. That's a fact. That's a fact. Link is here to the top. So it's like, they knew what happened to the submarine. If you don't know, they don't have to tell the public people nothing. The majority of the news is scripted. If they don't want you to talk about it, they're not going to have you talk about it. We're talking about a billionaire finding debris. The Navy detecting an explosion, which was the implosion. All of this stuff is known, man. We're just common people. They don't have to tell us these things. They took a 19-year-old on this sub. You know, billionaires just play different. Let me see.
The Coast Guard is basing itself in Boston. At any moment, officials there will hold a news conference regarding what is now believed to be the deaths of those 5 people on board the sub. It is starting right now. Let's listen in.
Horizon Arctic discovered the tail cone of the Titan submersible approximately 1,600 feet from the bow of the Titanic on the seafloor.
And this is what okay. Let him finish.
The ROV subsequently found additional debris. In consultation with experts from within the Unified Command, the debris is consistent with the catastrophic loss of the pressure chamber. Upon this determination, we immediately notified the families. On behalf of the United States Coast Guard and the entire Unified Command, I offer my deepest condolences to the families. I can only imagine what this has been like for them, and I hope that this discovery provides some solace during this difficult time. Additionally, we've been in close contact with the British and French consuls general to ensure that they are fully apprised and that their concerns are being addressed. The outpouring of support in this highly complex search operation has been robust and immensely appreciated. We are grateful for the rapid mobilization of experts on the undersea search and rescue, and we thank all of the agencies and personnel for their role in the response. We're also incredibly grateful for the full spectrum of international assistance that's been provided. The ROVs will remain on scene and continue to gather information. Again, our most heartfelt condolences go out to the loved ones of the crew.
Yes. Condolences definitely go out. He said the quick response, it wasn't quick. They should have never been lost. You know where they at. You don't have a device to look for the device. So we lost contact with the submarine GPS device. Then it was where they didn't make every now and then you're supposed to make a surface appearance. They didn't make the surface appearance. After the GPS failed, you should have been looking for them. After they didn't resurface, you should have been looking for them. Now we found debris. Brandon said they made unnecessary modifications to the sub that it would go deeper. Hence the implosion. And I don't know why people keep playing with this. Like, if y'all remember, and excuse me for the candy, but if y'all remember, the Titanic was like supposed to be this indestructible ship. That's why they named it the Titanic. It had like a sister ship. What was it? But the Titanic was supposed to be this titan of a ship. And it died with a bunch of people on it who passed. Horrible. Horrible. And then you make this little sub to go look, and you name it the Titan. You name it the Titan. They already lost once under that name. Titanic lost. It didn't win. And then you come with the Titan with a PlayStation controller. Not even a Wildcat. He got a Wildcat off-brand PlayStation controller. So that's it. So we could talk about that. Also, we got Leak Audio, if you want to call it that. Is this it?
Hey Dirt, I know I want you on. I'm dropping this this surprise album on the same day Buddy dropped his album. That shit coming up soon. I need a verse from you. If you feel like replying, if you feel like you want to reply to what that nigga saying or something, man, don't do it. Drop it on my album. I'm dropping a surprise album on the same day that fuck nigga drop. Sing your verse in, bro. I want you and Wham on the same song. Sing your verse in. Love you, bro. Hey Dirt, I know I want you on. I'm dropping this surprise album on the same day Buddy dropped his album. That shit coming up soon. I need a verse from you. If you feel like replying, if you feel like you want to reply to what that nigga saying or something, man, don't do it. Drop it on my album. I'm dropping a surprise album on the same day that fuck nigga drop. Sing your verse in, bro. I want you and Wham on the same song. Sing your verse in. Love you, bro. I know I want you on. Hey Dirt, I know I want you on. I'm dropping this
So, and it was also the one where he talked a little bit.
Make you believe that shit is bad. Nigga, he not Wham every time. You know, I'm convicted.
I'm gonna drop this spontaneous on my album. I'm playing this. I'm gonna drop this. Yo, hey Wham, if you thinking about responding to the Buddy put out, I want you to respond on my album. I'm playing this. I'm gonna drop this spontaneous album on the same day you drop this album. I'm gonna name that shit Business is Business.
Alright, I'm ready. I ain't gonna lie. That shit.
Okay, so Young Thug went to jail for being Young Thug, all right? Young Thug went to jail for being a Young Thug, or not so Young Thug. Within this case, a bunch of people, Young Thug is a rapper with the YSL label. YSL is also a street organization. All the street organization dudes are snitching, including Young Thug's blood brother. So the rapper dude, Gunna from YSL, the music group, said, hey, I'm up out of this shit. I have nothing to do with this. And so he takes it's a certain type of plea deal, an errant plea deal or something. But it's like, okay, all you got to do is admit that YSL is a gang and that those wasn't your guns you got put over with. That's all I know he admitted to. I don't know if he admitted to any specific crimes. I think I heard someone say that he admitted that YSL has committed crimes. I don't know what specific crimes. But if you got caught smoking weed somewhere where it's illegal, that's a crime. If the feds watched your Instagram and saw that, they know that. Okay? So now everybody's in a big uproar because Gunna got out. And of course all of these wannabe street motherfuckers is saying, oh, he's snitching. Because, you know, that's the ignorance of the politics of people who deal in the street. Okay, the streets is dead and have graduated to a corporate level. And I think that's what Young Thug is on. Now the thing is, Gunna drops these songs, and in these songs he's giving hints. Man, is that Terry the Smooth Jr. in a building, man? Play no games. Don't get it twisted, misconstrued, pointed in the wrong direction or fucked up. We definitely back, man. This is the Argument League. This is your boy Swab Boss, man, in company of my brothers and sisters. Keep y'all head up. So the link is pinned to the top of the chat. So now Gunna drops these songs with, you know, with these lyrics of the DA tricked me, it won't happen no more, and I didn't tell, and you know, y'all know people that tell, and y'all was cool with them. Why y'all don't talk about that, this, that, and the other? But to my knowledge, he's still under YSL, the music group. So his songs and his albums that he put out is making money for Young Thug. Not only that, but he's the only person making money for YSL, the music group. Young Thug needs that. right? So in my mind, I'm like, Young Thug don't have a problem with Gunna. He has 30 people already said, yeah, dude told me to go shoot people. Dude bought me a gun. Dude plugged me with some drugs. Dude this, that. What Gunna is telling don't even need to be used in court. But you're the person that's finna make me millions. Go get paid. Go help the label. Whatever you want to rap about, I don't give a fuck. Rap about that shit. Diss me if you got to. But I don't see Gunna dissing Young Thug. So now audio of Gunna calling Wham, who I believe is Lil Baby, what he called Lil Baby, and Lil Durk calling these people saying, hey, if y'all got a response to this nigga, do it on my tape. Why wouldn't he? Of course, that's making YSL the primary owner of the stuff, and they're going to get the bread off of it. So now this is a monopoly move. This is a money move. He comes out on my label with all this controversial rap, all of this controversy surrounding him. Who's going to support him? Who's not? Did he snitch? Did he? How does Young Thug feel? And now you got Lil Baby and Lil Durk, two of the hottest in the game. I need y'all verses on my album. So to me, all of this is beneficial and very fortunate for Young Thug. The case, no. But all of the music being made and the business being done is exactly what I would want if I was Young Thug. There's no time for the street shit. That's funny to me. And I don't know if Young Thug's that smart, but I wouldn't doubt. I wouldn't wipe it completely off the table. He might be that smart. Because it's all about, and he said he's dropping this spontaneous album and he's calling it Business is Business. So what does that mean? Business is business. He ain't naming Slap. He ain't naming Slime. He ain't naming none of that street shit. Now, business is business. So when Gunna takes the plea and get out of jail, that's business. When Gunna drop these songs, that's business. When he disses Durk and Lil Baby, supposedly, that's business. When Lil Baby and Durk responds back to him on Young Thug's album, that's business. Young Thug dropping the album, that's business. So hopefully his read has reading to me, because even if Young Thug go to jail, his best bet is to have somebody out there that's making bread, keeping YSL popping, and that's Gunna. That's Gunna. You know, of course he can't come out and say nothing crazy. Hey, I ain't fucking with Gunna or something like that, because that could be like intimidation to a witness or whatever the fuck. But yeah, that's funny to me. So of course we want to see how this turns out. And are these albums out yet? Let me see. Full album. Business is business. Full album. Business is business. This is business. This is business. But of course, in the hip hop culture, with that section of it, these people are ignorant. They're viral. You know, they're very short thinkers. You know, it's a flash. Oh, this happened, and we all react like this. No one critically thinks. No one takes a deeper approach. Like, oh, that nigga went to jail. Oh, that nigga said that. Oh, that nigga snitched. I bet Young Thug feel like this. Oh, yeah. It's about money. This is about money. This is about one of the hottest artists, Young Thug, not losing that momentum, even though he caught this case. Because him catching this case is going to blow him up with the street culture. Catching a case blows you up. Same thing with Boosie. Boosie caught a case. He was on fucking death row. He beat it. Nah, he's the grandfather of the streets. Why? What has he ever said that was so fucking mind-blowing, that put people on game, that changed the culture? Nothing. But he beat a case. All of these rappers that you finesse 2 times, all of these rappers that you see come out of nowhere, and it's like, soon as they get out of jail, you got a deal. Same thing they did with A$AP Rocky, boy. Was it? No. I'm sorry. Who's the hot nigga? Damn. The dude that made the hot nigga song. I know y'all know. Threw his hat in the air in the video and it never came down. That guy. His friend gets out. Here you go. We want to hear what he rapped about. No, we don't. He was whack before he went in. He's whack now. But because he caught that case, all of a sudden, he's who we need to listen to. When he probably need to sit back and get money a different way. He probably need to do something else. This is Brother Goldman is in the building with a big girl.
Man, you know I had to be here for this. Go ahead to be here. So yeah, Gunna is still signed to Thug though.
See?
And the hot nigga you was talking about, that's Shmurda.
Bobby Shmurda. And I think his guy, not Rico Records, that's what he was.
Damn, what was his name? Shit. I fuck with him more, but damn. There's so much shit going on, I be forgetting niggas' names right now. Boy. I got you. Hold on.
Rowdy Rebel.
Rowdy Rebel, yeah.
Rowdy Rebel is the one. Yeah. He comes home and all of a sudden it's like, yeah, we need him now. You know, so there's this obsession with prison culture. You know, they think if you caught the crime, you was a real nigga.
And that's purposefully, like, because if we be for real, bro, we be for real, like, and I ain't, you know, I'm gonna tell niggas all the time, don't do no fuck shit. You know what I'm saying? So don't be mad about what I'm about to say, because I already told you, don't do no street shit. Don't do it, period. But niggas not snitching and all that type of shit, not to say I condone it, it's just more time for the system. And we forget there was backroom conversations to change the way the music is being, you know what I'm saying, put out here. So when we get to thinking about who winning for real, like, cause I get what you're saying about Thug. Yeah, that's a hell of a scheme, but that's a scheme under the grand scheme. The grand scheme is to get more niggas locked the fuck up. So if you get all of these people who even the so-called people that ain't involved in street talk in this street talk, it's only gonna equal more time for the system when they get people in there. You see what I'm saying? So all this, I'm not telling like, bro, sit your ass down somewhere, first of all. Because if you really street, you do your shit by your motherfucking self. And you don't tell nobody. You ain't got to worry about telling on yourself because you ain't. But the fact that you think you so motherfucking big and bad, you need a whole, what Tupac say, you ain't shit without your homeboys? These niggas need a whole group of motherfuckers to do some dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? And then be mad when it come out all of y'all motherfuckers was involved. Like, you shouldn't have got all them niggas involved. Like, it's just that simple. You feel so strongly about some shit, do that shit, handle your business. You feel me? Don't bring everybody along with that bullshit. And if we be real about how the rap game has been funded, you know what I'm saying? A lot of niggas been coming from the street, washing their money with this rap shit. And now shit, the industry, like, you know what? Instead of us just getting the niggas who we told y'all in the back room to influence so we can get more young people in jail, we gonna get you niggas too. So this is the motherfucking karma for you bitch ass niggas selling us out to begin with. Cause it was certain shit you didn't talk about on the record, but you motherfuckers wanna talk about that shit now. You giving out codes and all kind of shit in the record and wonder why lame ass motherfuckers or people that are well to do, work every day motherfuckers, know street shit. And why they able to talk like that? Because y'all putting that shit in the airwaves.
Exactly.
Like, come on, bro. That shit is so ass backwards, and then they wonder why they taking the L for that shit. Come on, you forgot why the OGs told you not to tell all your fucking business. And damn sure if you still in the streets, don't be rapping, nigga. Like, when that Scarface said, bro, when I was in the street, I wasn't rapping. I wasn't talking about that shit. But when I got out the street and was removed from that shit, I could talk about it. Because I'm, you know what I'm saying? Statute of limitations, all that type of shit. Like, these niggas don't know the law. How you street and don't, like, the main thing, it was a dude, what's his name? Melvin? It might not have been Melvin, but it's a big gangster from Baltimore. He used to say, bro, don't break the law if you don't know the consequence. You feel me? If you don't know the consequence, don't be out here breaking the law. You feel me? And a lot of us, we gotta be for real. It's a whole bunch of ignorant people out here that's doing shit because it's cool right now. But since you want to follow the cool shit, just like when we was in school, you're gonna suffer the consequence along with the rest of these motherfuckers of trying to fit in, trying to do shit because it's a trend. Sit your ass down somewhere. Get you a job. Like, they paying good at these jobs now. I ain't trying to sit there and be like, oh, work for somebody forever. But, nigga, you can stack your money up and have your own situation if that's what you really want. But sitting over here thinking you're going to take a shortcut, when the nigga from the street myself, I tell you, bro, we was misled. The fuck? But I ain't finna sit up here and be like, oh, yeah, because we were misled. Y'all got to uphold the misled. Man, let that shit burn, nigga. Let that shit burn all the way the fuck down. We don't need another generation coming out talking about they finna be gangsters. We don't need another generation coming around talking about they finna be thugging. Nigga, we came up out of that shit. So we gotta keep on growing up out of that shit. We can't keep on, oh, this shit, my kids gotta be a thug too. Like, man, shut the fuck up, bro. And that's what happens when you put that shit in music. Like, what happened to music being used to uplift? But this what happens when you allow for the most uninformed, that's how I said, the most uninformed amongst us to be the voice. And that's not by accident. Like, people listening to the music so much that they can't see what happened during their overnight. They locked up your talented artists. You feel me? And then turn around and start putting the motherfuckers that was really out of their mind, had mental issues. Yeah. You gotta have a mental issue for you to think it's okay to kill somebody to be in power. This is what, man, come on. This is what we talking about when we talking about, man, and this ain't no, I ain't totally putting it all on one person because, you know, it's the whole setup. I ain't gonna sit here and say Young Thug is the father of all of this shit. No, Young Thug is the next ignorant nigga that got caught up in this shit. You know what I'm saying? But let's be for real. This is a whole setup for everybody who think they big and bad to follow along. So if we don't come out and speak against that shit, guess what? The kids don't got no options. They still young-minded. You know what I'm saying? Easily influenced. So if everybody stood up here talking about don't snitch, man, dude, my 6-year-old daughter gonna call her teacher snitch the other day. What you think I laughed about that shit? Oh no, nigga. It went down. I told her ass, bro, you are not in the street. And furthermore, the fact that she talking like that, the motherfuckers that talk like that, they wind up getting their ass killed for that same shit they trying to stand though. Is that worth it? You trying to keep secrets. What about if somebody do something to you? You telling your child don't snitch. Now your child over here getting touched on. But hey, they can't snitch. Cause that's a crime too. You feel me? We talking about, oh, don't tell them crimes. Like, bro, I ain't sitting over here saying, hey, spend your days and nights at the police station. But if you know life ain't about that shit, stay the fuck out of that shit. And when you see that shit going down, don't condone it. Because if you sitting around condoning it, guess what? You got to suffer the same consequences too. Whether it's your little cousin. Like, we got to be for real about this shit. Like, I don't know how many of y'all that say y'all from the hood, they got family members that's locked up, and you see the ugly side of this shit and know that this shit ain't cool, bro. This shit ain't fucking cool. And we all done been set up to think it's okay. So guess what? So the house can win. So the system can keep winning on the backs of our youth. If the old people don't tell the young niggas that shit ain't cool, guess what? They just gonna follow along what we was doing when we was young niggas and didn't know no better. Cause that's really what you watching. The young people seeing us when we was young doing stupid shit, and now since we ain't come back and say we was doing stupid shit, they think that's the way to go.
Yeah. If it ain't the movies, because it was like one day we saw certain movies and we thought that was really life outside of our door.
Hell yeah.
Was it life somewhere? Yeah, but that wasn't
Yeah.
life outside our door.
Mm-hmm.
Out there, we created that.
Yep.
The foundation new elements was there. The poverty, the depression, the loneliness, the need for family, the disconnection from real family. All those things was there, but that don't lead to let's join the gang.
Right.
You know, but
and I don't know about, man, all these people that say they enjoy the game. Let's be fucking for real. If you ever move up, if you ever get really involved in that shit and get close enough to the niggas that's so called at the top, guess what? They daddy was in this shit. They grandfather was in this shit. So technically, they holding up some family shit in their mind. But if that ain't what your family was involved in, you need to get over here and do what your family was fucking doing. Cause you know what I'm saying? You technically engrafting or adopting somebody else's family lifestyle. And truth be told, if they had a choice, they would tell you, bro, I wouldn't be doing this shit.
And they did. That's what killed me. You standing on the game of your elders, but you're not listening to the elders now that they're elders.
Yep.
You need to do what they did when they was your age. But now that they're older and they telling you, hey, doing this time ain't what it do.
They denouncing the
street. You did it wrong. You got caught. That ain't got nothing to do with me. But I mean, if people remember what the streets was like a real community thing. We couldn't depend on certain systems, so we created our own.
Yeah.
It wasn't all about murder and violence. The drug trade was controlled. People used to rob banks. People used to rob the system.
Mm-hmm.
People really used to rob banks and get away with it, and then come back and buy turkeys and sweaters and pillows,
right?
Like that. They didn't come back and get a kid dope.
Come on, bro.
They didn't come back to get a kid dope. You know, it wasn't all about the flashiness and buying a car and putting rims on it. Yeah, I'm gonna buy a car, but that $20,000 I spent on rims is not gonna happen. That money
in the street
was something else.
Staying in the street, that went to go. Them niggas just be like, man, we gonna get enough money, shit. We finna move away. You know what I'm saying? Like what? And not move away to do it again somewhere else. Not do it no more.
Get my family out of here.
You feel me?
You know, it's multiple heads on that dragon too. For some people, did fall in love with getting the money and they went that way. No, fuck that. This is about me. Some people got tapped on the shoulders by the police. You know we caught you, but this the thing. We need you to do this. So here's a distribution deal. First people giving distribution deal was the feds.
Come on, bro.
You're gonna distribute for us now. We're gonna put you in plug with the Colombians or the Mexicans, and they gonna give you the highest shit for the best price. And you ain't gonna think about that. How did Rick Ross end up making? What did he say? $1 million, 100,000 a day or some shit? It was some dumbass.
Easy. It was crazy.
Let me look that up. I'm gonna say
I think Lil D was making a little bit more than his ass. Like that shit, bro. That shit was a setup from the jump. And now that we generations removed, we gotta be real and say, man, that shit don't work. Cause even if you did move your man, how many times you seen people move their family out the hood and they mess around and have a kid get, taken out abrupt. You feel me? And they couldn't stop it. Because karma don't fucking stop. Like, this the lesson in this shit. You can't do dirt and think you gonna, you know what I'm saying, come out of this shit with nothing on you. No, man, come on, bro. That shit carries with you. It become a part of your aura. Like, that's why I go out of my way to encourage people. Because I know the shit that we was involved in now. I ain't gonna sit here and act like, oh, I ain't never did shit. But when you know what the fuck wrong shit you did, you gotta go out your way to right that shit by helping people, encouraging people through. Because you know where they coming from. Encouraging them not to do the shit that you did.
Yeah. And when you do wrong, and then you find the right way, be humble.
Come on. Don't like you better than nobody.
Don't think you G. Don't try to get patted on the back for doing something you're supposed to be doing in the first place.
Come on.
It's like in our community, we so trained to wait on the wicked to become righteous while we make fun of the righteous for being weak and lame.
Man.
And once the wicked become weak and lame, it's not weak and lame no more. It's righteous. Because you know they would kill. You know they would steal, but the people said, brother, it's not worth me killing you. It's not worth
it.
If you cross a certain threshold, we know when it come to kids.
Yep.
That's your most likely way of getting killed. Come touching kids, disrespecting kids, violating kids, and violating women is one of the quickest ways. But now it's like dudes don't care. Dudes will let you smack their mama, holler at their girl,
Man.
talk shit about their kids, but they'll shoot you over their pride.
That's
The most
what it is.
in the world. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when you do come to a better way, start bringing lights to those who were already there.
Already doing it. Yep,
We have those people who are 20-something years, 30-something years into being righteous, but because you came to a revelation 12 months ago, all of a sudden you're the face of a broke person. When to tell the truth, you're most likely to go back to that shit because these motherfuckers was never in it. Now, it says by 1982, Ross had received his moniker of Freeway Ricky and claimed to have sold up to $3 million worth of cocaine per day. You don't sell $500,000 worth of cocaine a day and you're not working with the people.
Because they gonna notice this shit.
They're gonna know. You're changing the economy.
Mm-hmm.
You're changing the economy. $3 million worth of cocaine a day. Not saying he made $3 million, but he sold up. He sold up to $3 million. So whatever his percentage of that, this, that, and the other. But yeah, man, you be talking about.
My bad.
They were selling to black people, so to let you know, there was $3 million a day in the hood.
Mm-hmm.
There was $3 million a day in the hood, and it's still there.
Oh yeah.
And it's still there. It's more now.
Man, right?
So that's crazy. You don't make it to them levels without dealing with the police, the feds, some politicians, some people who turn their heads and get their pockets padded. You don't kill your way up to $3 million worth of cocaine a day. You don't finagle and finesse and fucking. You don't. You don't.
It just don't happen like that.
It doesn't.
Everybody was talking about, I wish I had a plug. They weren't talking about, shit, I'm going to be able to rob somebody. You know you couldn't take that much and not be dead tomorrow. Like, you serious?
Shout out to H.C. Brown in the building. Shout out to my brother Gary Moore is in the building, man. Tiff XYZ was in the building. Man, but if you talk, but that's why they keep the game in the hands of the young. Because they don't know.
They don't know yet.
It's time. The more you live life, the more you witness. Just think if you live for 4 hours. You was born, 4 hours, died. You would never know there was a nighttime.
Mm-hmm.
And you would stand on this shit about how daytime and daytime and daytime and daytime, and then someone come along who lives 16 hours. And they know shit changes. That's what an elder is. Motherfuckers didn't freestyle their way to these systems that they standing on. It was tried and tested. It really was no other natural way of doing it.
Yeah.
Your mother is your mother, your father is your father. Those become your guides.
Mm-hmm.
They become grandparents and become guides of the grandkids. Great grandparents and their guides of the great grandkids. And it's like you don't break that structure. So they keep the game in the hands of the young because the young are stupid. They're ignorant. They don't know. And they got that jet fuel in them.
Yeah. And there's no
jet fuel in them.
And it's no different than, like, you remember they used to be talking about these dictators used to have children soldiers and shit. That's the same shit. Like, that's what they doing in our community. They taking our kids and, galvanizing them. Because they seen, come on, if we talk about our greatest accomplishments, like doing the civil rights and the times that we stood up, it was the youth that was doing that shit. So all they did was figure out how to compromise the youth, bro. And then make the image of the elders be, discredited to the point it destroys the whole community. The older you get, you begin to learn how to allow for things to come into being because you've seen so many things come into being. You feel me? After a while, you begin to practice a certain level of patience because you're like, shit changed. So even if I don't like how shit is right now, I'm gonna be calm enough to let it change without forcing it. Because the moment you start trying to force some shit, you're gonna do some stuff that's gonna cause you to be in a situation where you less fortunate. Like trying to hurry up and run up a bag in the time that it's technically not possible for you to run up a bag that fast. So you're gonna have to do some corrupt shit. You're gonna have to finesse somebody, you're gonna have to scam. Like, come on, bro. You want to know what's right and what's wrong. Do you do that shit at the expense of somebody else? If that's the case, it's fucking wrong. It ain't hard. It ain't hard. But you don't question shit. You just out here, mom. Like you said, we live in this short period of time. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing to be present in the moment, but to be just living for the moment is some whole other shit.
Yeah.
Some whole other shit. And a lot of people just living for the moment, bro. Now, with the Rick Ross shit, and it's funny because here it is, the real Rick Ross is coming out. He speak about a lot of this type of shit. But the other Rick Ross
is the one that's popular.
And perpetuating the shit that he is trying to say I learned from.
Never respect Rick Ross. He was a CEO. And I'm not saying being a CEO is bad. I'm saying that we need to hear that CEO testimony. All this rapping you doing about a life you never lived, and we can't hear the real shit. Not like you was a CEO, was asked about it, denied it. Is that real? That's not real.
No, that ain't cool.
But he's allowed to come in his culture and lie and hold niggas. And he got a nice pen eventually.
Now look,
people, but yeah, it was just, that floor he wrote, that Florida vibe. But like I say, man, people are tapped on the shoulders. When you willing to do certain shit, that's who they want to do business with. They don't want to do business with when you send your album up to them towers with these positive songs, they send that shit back down. And they tell you which songs they want to hear more. Do more songs.
Yeah, we putting this single up.
And that's where the budget gonna go. And so if that's where the budget going, guess what type of songs you gonna write?
Mm-hmm. And at that point you compromise.
Yeah, that's exactly. They don't want nobody who's gonna stand on their morals like, nah, okay, well, I mean, go over there and be moral. But over here, we trying to get that bag, and that's how they justify anything. Is he getting his money? Well.
And that's what leads to us not caring about each other, bro. And that's what leads to us not caring about each other. When it get to the point they can convince you that this money is more important. Now you start being like, I gotta get money. I'm out here to make money, not friends. You feel me? So, that's where that compromise comes. You remember being in math class, right? They would give us a problem to solve. It's at least 30 kids in that classroom. We would wind up coming up with at least 6 different ways to solve that problem, but still come to the same answer, right? So as much as people want to act like it's only one way to do the shit, bro, like you see the positive rappers that are successful. You feel me? It's just these motherfuckers want to be known for some shit that ain't even them. And they already know who gonna compromise. That's what that is. And it's almost like, remember you was talking about the industry playing a long time ago. That's that whole game that they play. Like, we're gonna have the industry playing all the while where we see the real movement over here. Like, and some people not gonna like it, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like at times they utilize Martin Luther King's movement to make him like the industry plant against the by any means necessary. When niggas was standing on principle, like, bro, we in the streets with it. You can't even sell drugs on this corner because we over here talking real talk right here. And you feel me? So when you think about that, it's the same thing that's just been perpetuated. It's just the game that they done got better at that game. But somebody got to tell the youth, man, look, they was in closed rooms talking about how they was gonna corrupt you people. They was gonna corrupt us. Like, and here it is, the rappers that you see still out here doing it from back in them times, they the ones that took that deal. The ones that ain't telling you about that meeting, they took that deal. Now, y'all know Red, I like the conspiracies. Y'all forgot about Jade Hill when they said they was gonna have people coming to each one of our communities and they was gonna utilize these soldiers that was undercover basically to corrupt everybody. So no matter what faction you were part of, even if you think you doing good by going to work, they don't find a way to even compromise y'all. Cause you so caught up in going to work when some real shit happen, you can't say fuck it. You know what? Today, fuck that shit. Like for instance, my bro over here talking this shit. I'm like, man, you know what? I know what I said I was about to do today, but shit, it come a point when you got a voice. Now, if you like me, you got a voice at this point because you created a platform. When it comes time to speak about real shit, you got to make yourself available. You can't just go hide in the shadows and say, oh shit, let him do that. You know what I'm saying? And that be our problem as people. We think somebody else supposed to do some shit when we all got a part to play in this shit. We all got a part to play. When it comes to, somebody child getting touched or some shit, people always want to be like, well, where's the parents? No, where are the grown-ups, period?
Where's the community?
You feel me?
Fathers, you're all brothers and sisters. And don't get it twisted, pointed in the wrong direction, misconstrued or fucked up. Brandon Bay is definitely in the building. Love to have you with the baby dad gang. You already know
You
how.
already know. Score, what's
Peace
up
to
with
you,
it?
brother.
Peace,
Peace to
King.
you, folks.
Peace, peace, peace. That was just Father's Day that just passed.
You know it.
Man, how the baby doing, man? How old is the boy now?
He 3 going on 30.
You already know. You already know. I was gonna say 3 going on 33. Shit.
30,000.
Yep.
I want to say, I'm going to push back on that. You'll never convince me black men are calling women bitches and hoes because of the industry.
Oh shit. You serious? You serious?
I mean,
No. I'm let me respond to that simply on a simple level. If you grow up in a household, right? You never heard your father call your mama bitch. You weren't allowed to listen to certain music until you got grown and was able to choose what the hell you wanted to hear. You can't sit here and tell me that music ain't influencing that.
that's the industry directly teaching you to call women bitches and hoes. A lot of these rappers, there's no woman in their life that they talk to like that. Bitch, come in. Ho, come in.
And they make sure your mama and daddy got to work so much to the point you got time to hear this shit. You got time to sneak and watch this shit on TV.
You used to be able to support a home off of one parent income. Now,
Yeah.
mama got to work. The teenagers got to work. You know, and I thought things got cheaper. Like, how do you go from shopping with $1
Shit.
to shopping with $500-$600? Like,
That's
did
all.
chickens get harder to create? No. So why do chickens cost more? And then you said, well, we putting these chemicals. Who asked you to do that? I
Who
want the
asked you?
same shit my great-great-grandparents was buying.
You
I want
feel
that
me?
fast, natural chicken.
What Lauryn Hill said, don't do me no favors. Fuck you.
To T-Ball 1 point, man, if they paying you to do it, there's people willing to do it.
Exactly. Because there's
If
somebody out here in a desperate situation.
Do it. If I guarantee you, if they stop funding music like this and start funding positive music, these little niggas will be trying to, and they might be horrible at it because they was horrible at the gangster shit. Remember how much complaining about these motherfuckers? Like, man, this shit sound weak. Now these little niggas snapping.
Yeah. But
If
you know where they snapping because
the best producers and the best features and the best artists and writing teams, this is what you get. So I understand HT Baldwin that you may naturally just say, it's natural within us to call them bitches and hoes, but it started somewhere, bro. And I understand that we started adopting certain habits.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna let the black man, scapegoat off of anything of that because it was totally up to you. But if you remember, we had places like Tulsa, Oklahoma with zero crime. We had places like Oakland that had self-policing. The Black Panthers used to walk around the neighborhood and self-police. Yeah. Why was that not instituted? Why was that not helpful? And even when like the cops would mess with the people in the community, Huey would have his crew and they would stand around with their legal guns and a law book.
And make sure it don't go too far.
At this scene was legal, and if that person was arrested, they followed them downtown, bailed them out, and provided them with free legal representation in court. If the person was guilty, the person was guilty. If they wasn't, they wasn't. What changed that? Where did that go? Where did that
Can't.
go?
And another thing is like the reason why that shit, you know, this is where I look at it. Whatever the last generation did to get by this bullshit that they keep pushing on us, which is American, so-called American culture, that's what we looking at. Every generation, like say for instance, you know, like you were saying, the mothers at one generation was able to stay home and be vigilant. Like, you know what I'm saying? By the time that next generation come along, they like, we gotta take the mama out the house. So let's be for real, as us pointing out these problems, we're keeping it real enough for the kids to provide the solutions for their generation. Because each generation come with a different solution because they facing different shit. But if we not being realistic about it and saying, "Oh, it's this invisible person over here," no, it's all we being responsible by pointing out the problem. We not saying it's insurmountable, but pointing out the problem allow for us to sit there and say, you know what? Okay, that's the problem. Now, what we gonna do to go beyond that or go through that shit without corrupting ourselves? Because culture used to be simply the elders learning from the youth so they don't get lost in time, and the youth learning from the elders so they can understand time.
And to show you that you agree with that HT Ball one, he put in the chat, my parents and grandparents taught me to respect and protect women and children. I still live like that. That's exactly what the sentence Goldman just said. Our elders teach us these laws in this culture. Now you tell me, who grandparents was teaching them to disrespect women?
Shit.
And not protect women and children? So where did that mentality come from? When did grandmama stop telling you to protect and respect the children? When did you stop listening? I mean, we're born in 19 whenever, and we're too impressed with ourselves.
Man.
You gotta really, because who is that who said the more I learn, the more I learn?
The more I realize I don't know.
The more I realize I don't know. Yeah, there's levels. He says, then we're collectively dumb as fuck if we know the damage and continue doing it. That's why I say they keep it in the hands of the children. Children are dumb.
Oh yeah, that's on
Children
purpose.
are not. They don't have the experience in life to critically think themselves through. They are going purely off of spirit.
And they keep it in the hands of
That's
certain
a
children.
whole different intelligence. Excuse me, what you say, bro?
I said, and they keep it in the hands of certain children. You feel me? That's not by accident. Like that's like them going out here and finding people who been victims of crimes, so much so that they become bitter and they start killing. And you say, get him the mic. Like what? Now here it is, a killer is influencing the rest of the world. You know how many times I done heard people talking about they killing shit and they ain't never, man, bro.
They find a lot of, like Kodak Black. These A&Rs and people that's looking for this, they go through Instagram and find these young ass pill popping, lean sipping motherfuckers that's talking that shit.
Mm-hmm.
They put them with producers. They put them with writers. They get that image. Because, I mean, naturally they popular where they from. Because they talking that shit. And they really who they say they is. They own line. I don't think Kodak Black is lying about who he say the fuck he is. I don't think Lil Baby is lying. You know?
But we not being realistic too, though. Excuse me, Swag. We not being realistic on the sense of when we were growing up, it was such a small pocket of people that was involved in crime. Like it was probably less than 10%. You feel me? And it's probably still that way today. I just, try to mind my business for the most part. But what I mean by that, when you got such a small group of people that's actually doing this shit, and then you perpetuate that to the rest of the groups, guess what? We already was too scared to say, a majority of us was too scared to say something to these people because we like, shoot, they gonna kill me. Like, man, bro, it's just not by accident. So it's not that we, by us talking about this, me, Suave, Scorp, talking about this, it's not that we sitting over here just trying to point the finger somewhere else, but we're sitting here, like I said, we're simply pointing out the problems and the fallacies in the way we live, as well as what's being perpetuated. So,
like,
oh my bad. Go ahead.
No, in a lot of these places, like I said, it was zero crime. Tulsa, Oklahoma had zero crime, zero poverty, zero homeless, zero hunger.
What police can't have no job if you do
we
that.
know what happened to Tulsa, Oklahoma, Rosewood, and dozens of other cities that had that system going for black people. We had such a lack of crime, they had to turn our community organizations into criminals. They wrote laws to make the Bloods and the Crips criminal organization. When they started off, community organizations that provided free food and free clothing, transportation, shelter, medical, legal representation. Look at the laws that they go under. It speak about love of family. These are nations. Whether you respect it or not, these are people who recognize we're different, our circumstances different, and we have to have our own nation and abide by those laws and get it recognized. What did they do? They implemented drugs. They would drop drugs off in black neighborhoods. They would drop guns off in black neighborhoods. They would drug dealing in black neighborhoods. They would fake letters to gang leaders as if it was the other gang threatening them and shit like that.
Come shoot at us. The colors of the other people.
They would do drive-bys. Y'all don't remember the 2 white cops that was caught in the synthetic blackface who was doing drive-bys in California?
Hell yeah.
You think they just started that? You think they just started doing crimes in black neighborhoods and then coming through and harassing the black people of the community as if they was really trying to look for the criminal? No. When the Irish and the English came over here, they had poverty. Guess what? They had crime.
Mm-hmm.
And they understood it. They understood where the crime came from. So they implemented systems to help these people. But now all of a sudden, our crime is inert. We're just wicked.
Right.
Has that never been the story? When has the story never been dark-skinned, black is wicked, dark-skinned people is wicked, but we can save them and wash them white if they act like us, if they walk like us, talk like us, if they dress in a manner that we can
handle.
Not accepting us for us, but we have to go against what we organically feel.
And I feel like that's that cave mentality. Like, imagine, you know what I'm saying, coming from existence. Like, people out,
And then I want to go to Brandon. Go ahead. The cave mentality.
Oh, yeah, I was just saying, I feel like that's that cave mentality. Imagine if you had an existence in a cave. Like, and I know people like, you going back too far, but you got over 14 generations of DNA running through you. So let's not play that game. And epigenetics is real. If you get put in a certain situation, you're going to respond the same. So when we wonder why there's this subliminal or subconscious fear or feeling that black is evil, it starts at the beginning. When you in a dark place and you have fear of the unknown. Most of the time when I seen people who didn't like me coming from the South, it was because of the unknown of what they didn't know about black people. So they feared us because they didn't know enough about black people. You see what I'm saying? And here it is. I was similar in the same because I remember what people told me so-called about Caucasians. You feel me?
Go ahead, Brandon.
Yo, so I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but if I'm looking at the history of entertainment and the entertainment industry, there's been, like, from what I see as like a concerted effort to basically undermine black communities, make us look bad, paint us in some weird fucked up image. And then you have other industries within the entertainment industry that do the exact same, that look for artists that promote certain images that they feel are conducive to how they should make money. Actors that are willing to do roles that the average black person wouldn't take. I feel like there's been a concerted effort from a lot of different individuals that culminate into a larger effort that we continuously see, like, manifesting itself in our music and on the streets. Not necessarily one that was created by us. I don't think that we created half of the stigmas that we live by today. I think that most of those they were framed for us, they were created for us, and then we were gently pushed into a position to where now that and us can be synonymous. So to be honest with you, I personally don't. Even with the crime, in any given area where there's crime, there's going to be people It doesn't really matter the color of the people. There's going to be crime. The first
Right.
gangs here in America were Irish gangs,
Italian.
Italian, Russian gangs. We didn't have gangs. The gangs that started within the black community, from my knowledge, was a response to all of the
Mm-hmm.
violence and crime that was coming out of other communities with other organized gangs that we didn't understand because we were in America. So that type of culture wasn't with us. All we knew about was community. We didn't have any concept of gangs and the levels of violence that came with these gangs. We had nothing to do with that. I feel like when the formation of our gangs or our street organization started, it was in a stark response to what we were experiencing in our neighborhoods. Like, driving to and from work and being harassed by a Polish gang or an Irish gang, or an Irish gang coming to your mother's business and now she has to pay them 10% of everything that she makes in there.
That's facts, because we had businesses at them times. Yep.
Yeah. So I kind of feel like a lot of what we're witnessing and a lot of what we're seeing now was basically pushed onto us, and we've basically adjusted, assimilated, and when I say assimilated, I don't mean like, we
There's a
are
role
the new
reversal.
white people. But I feel like, there's a role, you know what I'm saying? Like we reverse
Mm-hmm.
roles where now we're engaging in this degraded realm of society where we're doing all kinds of shit that we wouldn't normally naturally do.
If we had the resources, yep.
That
Makes sense. And you put people in a, you know what I'm saying? You put people in a box, they're gonna eventually come out unless they dead. And as much as, I would want to, like, we would want to put it on the elders, we would want to put it on the youth, we would want to put it in the people in the middle. We do have to at some point be realistic and say there was a concerted effort to take the people that were empowering themselves and turn around and make them rely on the system. And once you begin to rely on the system, you begin to take on the ways of the system. And what Swar was talking about, we once had the ways of our family. You feel me? Our mothers, our fathers was the most important people in our lives, or most influential people in our lives. So we mimicked what they did until we understood why it was so right. You feel me? But overnight, or it seems like from one generation to the next, that whole plight changed to the point we lack so many resources to where it's like you would be foolish to sit back and be like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna starve because I don't got the money to eat. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, somebody stole finna lose a few packs of meat because I'm hungry. You know what I'm saying? So at that point, it's not the person who steals that's the fucking problem. It's the system that creates a situation where little kids can't eat. It's a grown motherfucker who made a decision and said, I don't give a fuck if this child eat. That's corrupt. That's fucking corrupt. Don't tell me about no adult or no little kid who don't know no better trying to make the best out of a fucked up situation that they didn't even create. But they understood that because it's like, you know what? In order to normalize my crazy ass thoughts or my crazy ass ways, I got to put other people in them situations. And that's why I brought up that whole cave shit. Because these motherfuckers learned from being in the cave how they were corrupted, even if it wasn't on purpose. Like, because you know how we talk about them blankets and shit. I don't think them motherfuckers even realized how nasty they was with the blankets. I think it was just a result of, them motherfuckers being nasty and us not being interfaced with that type of shit to the point it was like a perfect storm. So as much as we pointing out the problem, it's not us sitting here saying, oh man, these motherfuckers just so ingenious. No, we saying this perfect storm keeps happening for some reason in our existence to make us check ourselves. Because if we didn't have these damn moments where we got to sit back and self-reflect on why we're doing certain things to ourselves, guess what? We would get full of ourselves. In case in point, that's the cataclysm of the things that we're trying to come up out of. Like even today's time, we getting so much money out here to the point we feel like can't nobody tell us nothing. Look at the ramifications of that shit. Look at what like the stuff that we had problems with in the 90s is 10 times worse now. Because here it is, you can't tell nobody shit. And not to say you always supposed to be checking other people, but it's like the perpetuation of wrong It's so prevalent in our communities to the point, how you gonna tell a child to do right when everybody who doing wrong is the one starving? So as much as you would want your child to do right, it's like, man, it's like expecting somebody to do damn near the impossible. Because it seems impossible for them to survive in that manner. And if we be for real, that's why a lot of us got caught up in the street. Because we like, man, I don't want to be like my mama and dad who ain't got time for their kids. I want to have enough money to where I can be there with my friends, my family. Like, so we chose different routes. But if we be for real, who put these motherfucking routes right here? You know what I'm saying? And that's why you got to be careful who you around type of shit. A lot of us, you know, if we be for real, that statement Nas made, you know, I'm paraphrasing when he say, you know, I found myself trying to be a colonist. Like I had to check myself. And that's true for a lot of us. If we be for real, we find ourselves over here acting just like the so-called people in power. And that's because that's not an accident. When the system takes the place of our parents, our elders, because they are the ones that are dictating our resources, you're going to see more and more of this shit. And if we pay attention to how this country, as we know it today, came into being, like, man, y'all better go watch that old ass movie, Birth of a Nation. They're going to tell you how they took shit. And then we're going to sit over here and look at the people at the bottom and say, man, that's messed up, y'all took shit. But it just goes to show you the righteous plight that black people once was on, that we hold each other to a certain standard regardless to the situation. And that's the only way we're going to rise above it, though.
And Goldmine, just to piggyback off what you said, one of the things that I noticed in history, and I don't want to get us in no trouble, so I'm going to try to be extremely careful about how I say what I say.
Yeah.
So there's a league, right? An anti-right league that was started literally, and I mean literally 1 year after this one gentleman who had a company was accused of the R word. And he accused a black man. So, you know, to get all the fire and heat off of him, even though all of the evidence pointed towards him. Well, he must have R word the wrong white girl, because they were all Christian Catholic. So they didn't care about necessarily who did what. They just wanted to get to the bottom of who did what. And it resulted in him being hung. In 1 year following that, there was the emergence of this league that I was talking about. This league that I was talking about, right?
Right.
And after that, after the creation of that league, you will notice in history, in newspapers all across the country, slandering of, our people in any way, shape, or form. And when I say slandering, I mean if somebody got picked up for something simple as a candy wrapper, they might have took a candy out of a candy store. They were vilified.
Yeah.
They were like, well, their father went to jail for this, so they had to be criminal, right? And you put their entire family on display to basically vilify the person, the individual, in the eyes of the people. So by the time that the individual made it into the courtroom, they were already seen as a villain. So it was almost seamless for a jury to say this person's guilty, because they've already made them into a villain on the newspapers. They made them into a villain in interviews. So by the time the actual individual made it into the courtroom, it was almost a secondary response to say, okay, this person is guilty, because I saw in the newspaper that his dad was a murderer. So if his dad was a murderer, he has to be a thief. So I just want to piggyback on that.
Man, for sure. Whereas other people, them great points, other people, you can't even bring up the history of their people without it being like, and that's where it gets to the point of us not being able to control our images, the media and shit. Because when they talk about their history, you feel me? These people are glorified. You know what I'm saying? My father did, or my great-great-grandparent did XYZ. They came over here and, pulled themselves up. And it's spoken about in such a way that you would think that these people just, started from the bottom and worked themselves up. But here it is, they stepped on people to get there. And then when we turn around and send our kids to these schools and they teaching our kids about this shit, you feel me? And then our kids turn around and perpetuate the shit. We like, what the fuck happened? No, pay attention. You teach a kid about Alexander the Great and you glorify this motherfucker in the textbook. No wonder we got King Vons. No disrespect to, you know, the spirit that really was this person. You feel me? But like I said, once you corrupt a person by teaching them a way of living that ain't necessarily the way it has to be, you can't, you know what I'm saying? You can't even really predict the outcomes, but you can kind of understand how they might go certain directions. So it's not like I said earlier, it's not like these motherfuckers were just so ingenious that they knew exactly what the fuck we was gonna do, but they knew there was only but a certain amount of outcomes when you become corrupted. You feel me? And like I said, in order to normalize the corruption, you gotta corrupt everybody. And the last motherfuckers to come on board will be the people that are demonized. Case in point, us. We demonized for doing the same shit these motherfuckers been doing. They had 10,000 years of wars. I mean, not 10,000 years, thousands of years of war, because these motherfuckers still ain't existed that long. But anyway, they had thousands of years of wars. You feel me? Where they was constantly infighting and perfecting this shit against each other. And those that were left behind, no different than a battered victim who doesn't get the proper therapy. You know what I'm saying? You done met somebody who told you, hey, my last relationship, they treated me like XYZ. And then you get in a relationship with them, and after a while, when things started to go bad, guess what they started to do? Started to treat you the same way they say they was treated. And you wonder why? Because it's the perpetuation of evil. And I say evil because it's like you living in reverse of how life is really supposed to be. We're supposed to edify each other. Each one of us was sent here to raise the vibration, meaning all of us exist by way of the vibration that makes us exist. So with every birth of a person, it added to the vibration because that's a new vibration coming in. No matter what level you want to put it at, no matter what competitive way you want to see it, it still was an adding of a vibration. So each one of us raised the vibes in this bitch. And now here it is, we taking lives. That means we taking down the vibration. And then you wonder why, motherfucker, like, man, nah, we got to say something about this shit. Because if we don't, guess what? The kids don't have no option on how to pick. And here it is, the emptiest wagon gonna make the most noise. So I ain't gonna sit here and be like, oh, we're gonna one day have a louder voice than them. But lead is here for those who would later question themselves after the error of their ways and say, you know what? Hold on, I need another option. I need another example to follow until I find my own way. And truth be told, like when it comes, like I said, going to the kids, going to school, and I bring that shit up because we have innate abilities within us. Meaning a child will innately figure out their way in life. But the fact that we send them to places without even recognizing what the purpose of it was. If we go back to the purpose for them sending their kids to school, the purpose that they even created schools here was because they felt like their kids were so ungrateful and ignorant of what they had to do to take care of them. So they created an education system that would glorify them to their kids. And then we fought to be in that motherfucking school. And then we wonder why our kids are doing shit to the glorification of them, not the glorification of us. Because we not proud of this shit. We're not proud of our kids getting out here and being corrupted and having to pay all of these bills to make sure your kids can call home. They got food in jail. Like, what? Who would agree to that shit? So at some point, you got to think past the moment and think like, hold on, where did this shit start? Who benefits the most from this shit? Is it just easier for me to blame the motherfucker next to me? Because like Scorpio said earlier, man, crime takes place within the vicinity where people live. And crime is determined by the people in power. So it's not necessarily the fact that, you know, what people are doing is so bad, but it's bad against the system to the point the system knows if they allow for this to keep going on, somebody will override what they put in place. So they can't let you be just as villainous as them. So why would I even let my youth think that you could possibly be as bad as them? I'm gonna tell you right now, bro, you can't be as bad as them. And if you even try to mimic them, they're gonna lock you up for that shit. If they don't kill your ass, just to make an example to the next motherfucker. And why would you want to be like, you know what I'm saying? Why would you want to tear somebody down? Why would you want to hurt somebody other than you hurting? So at that point, it becomes like, you know, bro, as much as it's not popular, some of the stuff that we do where we trying to edify people and we do meditation and therapy with them, like, I know it's not popular, but at the same time, somebody got to make the concerted effort to be there after people keep getting thrown in this meal of killing. Like it's a death culture. So somebody gotta say, man, you know what? And it's similar to what the Panthers, like Swar brought up earlier. It's similar to what the Panthers was doing. They seen the illness and thought to come up with a remedy. And you know, as much as people are always bringing up the system, the court system and shit, these are law type of methods or scientific methods and ways of dealing with shit, rather than just being like, you know what, this person over here messed up. That's why they doing messed up stuff. Nah, bro, ain't no kid born in this world just coming out being like, you know what, the most evil stuff that they doing, I'm gonna come down here and do it. The kids have to learn how to walk, talk, all that shit first before they can even figure out what the hell going on down here. So by the time they figure out what the hell going on down here, they subject to their environment.
The kid got to learn what hate is in order to hate, bro.
Come on,
They
man.
don't know what the fuck that shit is. You know what I mean? Facts,
Subject
bro.
to their environment. So when we sit around and blame the youth for what we didn't do, for the time we didn't have for them motherfuckers, you feel me? This is the result. When you start realizing mom and dad ain't got time for you, you rebel. I don't want to hear that shit. You weren't there when I was crying yesterday. Where you was at when they jumped me? Because my shoes had holes in them. And then who told these kids to pick on you because you don't got shit? Other than the same very system that we sit over here saying, man, you need to be a good model citizen. So you don't gotta worry about, man, listen. Damn if you do, damn if you don't. But I'm
Hey,
still not
bro.
gonna huh?
There's also examples of what you're saying in virtually any country where there's poverty. Like if
Mm-hmm.
you look at Mexico, right? And you say, well, damn, they have a cartel problem and there's a whole lot of drug issues. Well, who's in power?
Yep.
Who's in power that's allowing these things to happen? Who's in power? Who's rubbing hands with someone else? Who's in power to make sure that these drugs leave the country? And if we go to
Mm-hmm.
other countries like Somalia, who's in power over there that is putting the people in position where they're not making enough money to buy food and pay for where they live? Why is
Exactly.
their taxation so high that they're unable to buy the
Afford
natural
anything.
resources?
Mm-hmm.
Buy oranges from somebody from the local orange vendor. You know what I'm saying? They can't do that because they're not making enough money. But if you look at them on the news, they're vilified and they're the pirates of the sea. But how did that happen? If we go over to Haiti, we see the exact same thing. Where you
Facts.
see all of this crime taking place, kidnappings taking place, you have a very corrupt government who's in bed with another corrupt government. So every place that you see the crime sparking up,
Excuse me.
there's always a causality to it. There's always a start and a finish, and it doesn't start at the bottom. I've never in history seen a corrupt regime start from the very bottom. Most of that starts from the top and trickles its way to the bottom.
Right, you
The
gotta be in
corruptness and the
power.
evil,
Yep.
right? I just
And
want to
it's
add that 13 cent.
no, you good, man. I appreciate that. And what I got from what you just said, we over here overcompensating for the lack of resources. After you been down for so long and lacking for so long, you begin to feel like you
Yes,
have to overcompensate just to fucking
yes,
catch up for all the days you didn't fucking have. You know what I'm saying? So for all the time that, you know, our people called ourselves still being righteous and sticking to, you know, what we know was right. Now we have this generation, not a whole generation, but a nice bulk of the generation that is like, you know what, I gotta overcompensate for all this time we've been down. You feel me? I gotta take, man, come on, you looking at kids that are grossing a certain amount of money from doing this type of shit to the point they able to take care of 3 generations of their family. Like, so if you think I'm not, you think I'm bullshitting about the overcompensation, like it's in our face. And what they think they gotta come up with is the like we done been sold this system hook, line, and sinker, and we bought that shit. We bought the fact that I ain't shit if I ain't got no money. We bought the fact that I ain't shit if I ain't got no designer. We bought the fact that I ain't shit if my girl don't look unrealistic. We bought that shit. We bought the fact that I ain't shit if, my kids don't look at me as larger than life. Like, man, listen, Linda, your kids need to know that you make mistakes too. You feel me? But at the same time, when you slow that mistake down, you got a mistake, meaning I'm finna come back and get it right the next time, no matter how many times it fucking take. But when you sit over here and sell kids a dream of things are gonna be perfect or things are already perfect, guess what? They work so hard to perfect shit that ain't even fucking real. It ain't realistic to think you gonna come up overnight. Because it takes time for things to come in to play. And that's what I meant by the older you get, you begin to allow for things to happen. Versus when you young, you feel like you gotta force shit. So that's the whole thing. Trying to make sure these kids don't grow to be elders, don't grow to be grown, because then they'll start letting things happen, meaning being patient with life, which is one of the greatest things you can do in this life. That's what this whole shit is about. Teaching us to be patient enough to observe how things happen and then be able to tell somebody else. So if you older than 30 and your motherfucking ass ain't out here telling these kids, look, bro, chill. It's okay. Your time gonna come. But put that work in now so when the time comes for the light to be shined on you, you won't be shunned for the bullshit that you done to get where the hell you were going. Because your skirt gonna get pulled up, my G. I don't care who you think you is, and the way that shit happening now, it come back even faster. You don't get the chance to wait till you Bill Cosby age to get called on your shit. Young Thug had less than a 10-year reign, didn't he? Like, and I ain't saying, you feel me? I ain't saying the court system is the only judgment system, but we got to be for real. We are the system. See, for somewhere down the line, we forgot that we all play a part in this systematic situation, meaning a system of how we treat each other, a system of what we think is acceptable, a system of what we pay attention to and what we don't pay attention to. So when you think about that, we effectively have created this shit our damn selves. You feel me? And if you pay attention, like Scorpio was saying earlier, it's almost been like a parallel between the type of music we was making and a parallel of people learning, okay, how music influences people and how they can push their influence into the same sector. And then here it is, we living in that day where it used to be they was doing cover songs based on all of our shit and selling that shit to their people to influence their own people. To where now, you know what? They say we ain't even got to do the cover songs. We just fund these motherfuckers to do the shit that we want them to do. Like Suave said earlier, we going to pick what songs we want them to make. So after a while, since we done took so many of their resources, they ain't going to have no choice but to acquiesce and do what the hell we want them to do. But as long as you keep on thinking you ain't shit without no money, you won't never have none. They say the easiest way to gain money is to realize you don't fucking need it and just do what you know is right because you know it's right. But that's what come with this shit, because money is currency. You feel me? Based on what you currently doing today is going to determine how that currency comes back to you. But if you ain't putting in no work from, you put in work within yourself to basically later on be able to express yourself in another way, then guess what? When that turn of events come back around, if you ain't putting it in, you won't get nothing out. And what you give out is what you gonna get back. So if you did that shit in a fucked up manner, guess what? You gonna get it back in a fucked up manner. But if you only looking at 5 minutes of the movie, guess what? You ain't see the fact that Gotti, man, bro, you ain't see the fact these motherfuckers died in jail over stupid shit. You ain't see that shit. These same people that you looking up to, you emulating, these motherfuckers wind up dying in jail over shit that you like, man, they could have cured that on the outside. Or you see them walking up and down the street out of their fucking mind. That's what you want. Keep on going down that motherfucking road. Keep on going down that road. And even if doing right don't draw you in a certain amount of currency that you want, you feel me? Because that's where you got to learn the difference between what you want and what you fucking need. See, a lot of us think we need to be billionaires. No, that's what the fuck you want. That's what the fuck you want. Because you can't even spend all of that shit in this fucking lifetime. But the fact that you don't see the richness in yourself and in your own existence, you can't even acquire that shit to begin with. And if you did, it's going to be in such a messed up manner that karma that comes with it. Because karma go both ways. There's good karma. You feel me? Every time people hear about karma, they get scared. That's tell you how they living. Because you know you did some fucked up shit and that shit got to come back somehow. But when you do some good shit, you like, shit, I can't wait till karma come back around for this. Not to mention, you really ain't waiting on it, so it surprises you because you're too busy out here doing the good works. You're too busy out here loving on people to the point, and I can speak for myself, I'm too busy out here loving on people to the point when I do get down and people come around and build me up in my down moments, I'm like, darn, I ain't even expect that. So it's even more of a surprise and pleasantry to know that somebody that you encourage or even somebody that you never met before will come and think enough about you to say, man, you're going to be all right. But when you really got it inside you, somebody can tell you that. But when you don't got it inside you, you ain't going to believe when somebody say you're going to be all right. So you're going to do desperate shit. And whenever you acting from desperation, best believe, ain't no way you're going to get some good shit out of that. Ain't no way. Because you're thinking from a desperate thought process. So you only gonna get what desperate people get, more desperate situations to operate from. And that's the thing that we gotta teach our babies. Like, bro, the richest man in the world is the one who realizes he needs nothing. Need nothing. You were so perfectly designed that all of this shit that you think you need, it's already in you. It ain't on you. It's in your motherfucking ass. So when you start doing the work on you, man, bro, you know how hard it is for some people to keep one thought? Like, but that requires you to meditate, meaning taking time to block out all the shit outside of you that you focus on the majority of the day. And you wonder why you can't manifest the life of your dream, because you ain't focused on it. You're so busy focused on this, that, and anything else they bring in your face. And the fact that they know, well, not even there's opposite pendulums, you feel me? We in the information age, so where you can get the information that you need in order to build yourself up, and you got the information that you want. Now you got to be able to decipher what's important in the moment. But for a lot of us, we just keep on focused on the information that we want instead of the information that we need in the moment. So when we don't take care of our momentary needs later on, we ain't got no choice but to act in desperation for the shit that we want. But if you take the time with every second, every moment in the day, but we get 24 hours. We get 24 hours a day. That's a lot of motherfucking time to make some shit happen, G. And it's a lot of motherfucking time to realize that shit is already happening. Like I said, when you get over 30, you get patient enough to allow things to come into being because you've seen it happen too many times. So why I'm gonna sit back and act like it ain't gonna happen for me when it done happened too many times for me? For me to sit over here and lose my mind because somebody else stressing. Or because somebody else got this new Versace suit that I think is cool. Like, man, get the bro. And then when you start studying that shit, they playing on your motherfucking ass too, because they using your symbols. They using your images against you and selling that shit back to your silly ass. But you don't even know why you like Versace. You don't even know why you like Gucci. But here it is. These motherfuckers know enough about you that I'm going to put a little bit of you in some bullshit that I want to sell to you, and you're going to be so connected to it and don't fucking know why. To the point you go out you'll kill somebody just to have it. But when you know enough about yourself, you can see your brother or sister with that unk or whatever you feel like you connected to, and you say, man, that's nice right there. I'm glad you got that piece. And you can truly say that without jealousy, envy. So much so that you would want to take somebody in somebody's life to get that shit. Well, here it is. If you know enough about the plants around your ass, because everything out this motherfucker made from plants, whether you know it or not. Some free ass shit. Some shit that can't nobody copyright or patent. But if you know enough about that shit, you could bring forth all of this shit that's outside of you if you want it that damn bad. But nobody willing to do the work. Because you're too busy keep watching this same movie over and over on how you can take from somebody else. And that shit don't fucking work. Even if you do get away with it for a little bit of time. Guess what? It ain't gonna be worth it when that shit come back. Like I tell my kids, your ass can run all day while I ain't looking. But the moment you hit that wall, I know what the hell you been doing. You've been running so much you done got comfortable. To the point you took your eyes off of the shit you used to pay attention to, and now you done hit a wall in the house and you want somebody to feel sorry for you. You've been breaking the rules all this fucking time. You just got caught this time. Because now you suffering a consequence, and now you want people to feel sorry for you. But that's a victim mentality. When you can be victorious and constantly working towards some great shit every day. Meaning, you know what? I'm going to discipline myself more and more every day so I can actually have freedom. I can actually save up. So then I can actually have all the shit that I want. Versus, oh shit, I got to have this Burger King. Shit, you know McDonald's just came out with a new... Man, come on, bro. Come on, sis. You think you that down and out? That you need anything and everything to be a status symbol for you? That's what they doing to us. They selling us status. Oh, if you can't afford to eat out, you broke. What? You eating too damn much. The food is what's dictating your fucking actions right now. You making quick decisions to eat certain foods that was made quickly on top of that. And now your ass can't think for shit. You can't think past the moment. You can't figure out nothing to do what's best for you. That's how that shit works. So as much as we want to sit here and point the finger here, point the finger there, we all got a choice to make with every second of the day. What am I doing right now that's going to be progressive towards my overall being? What am I talking about? What am I listening to? What am I supporting that's going to be progressive to my overall being? If people not telling you that, guess what? They don't fucking love you. Because people that love you going to point out things that's going to be beneficial to you. Somebody who don't love you, they're going to make sure you ain't got time for that shit. They're going to keep on bombarding you with more distractions so you ain't never got time to think about what's progressive towards you. But here it is. You know, somebody give you a few dollars, you think they love you. If the moment you think that shit, bro, you done bought into this shit. You done bought into the same system that's been to the demise of our people for so long. But if you want to know what's going to be the next battlefront, whatever we thriving on right now. So since we think we balling out and we got so much money, man, you know what's coming next? Tax evasions. You know what I'm saying? They finna start locking people up. You know what I'm saying? For that shit. Like, so you always got to be planning for the next moment. If you got a job right now and you doing good, all right, okay, I always be towards.
Go, you there?
Black Power, my bad, big dog. Man, having the best conversation with the missus. Shout out to Tiff. It was some comments I wanted to hit. You know, HT Baldwin, I always keep it fire. Shout out to Tiff XRZ. I see the conversation going on. Man, and Tanjon is in the building. Shout out to you, sis. Good to hear from you. Okay, well, he said, this is going to piss somebody off. Show me what black men have collectively gone against anything recently. I think you will reword that. Black men collectively, meaning a collection of black men, gone against anything. Come on, bro. I can show you plenty of it. You got the new Black Panther Party. You got so many churches. You got so many organizations that are black people that's fighting against something. You may not like it, what they fighting against, but they fighting against it. I would like you to be specific about what you would like to see us collectively fight against. That's it. I don't agree with the ways, like y'all was talking about voting. I don't agree with voting, but I'm not in the way of the black people who like to use the voting system to better ourselves. You have faith in that. I'm not in your way. Tell me who to vote for. But when I come to you and ask for your help, give me that help back. Don't say, well, I don't believe in it. No. Put this money in this pot. Let's buy this land. Just concentrate on numbers. Have the same faith, you know. 3 Little Pigs. I know y'all get tired of saying it. Help me build my house of straw. I help you build your house of brick. And we'll find out which one is stronger.
Facts.
Because you obviously
Hey,
look at
so
how I feel
I
in this.
want to ask you something, Suave
Yes.
and Gold, since I hear your voice. In y'all opinion, because y'all know this shit. Y'all remember music back when it wasn't this.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember like the emergence of hip hop?
I was born in 79. Same year as
All right. Okay. So yes, all right. So with that being noted, would you in y'all personal opinion on just the music, would you say, and this is me asking y'all because I've noticed certain things, so I just wanted to hear y'all personal opinion. Would you say that it has escalated the interactions with the hip hop police as opposed to how it is today? There was a point in time I remember, like, it was just mainly arresting the artists, giving them a hard time at the airports and things of that nature. But most of the artists that had became artists was no longer engaged in street shit. You know what I'm saying? That was not a prevalent thing at that point in time. So there was not much that those hip hop cops can do at that time. But now, like, fast forward to, and I'm gonna use your example, Suave, Young Thug. There's a full blown indictment on this man and everybody that was associated with him, as far as his friends and other rap associates. You know what I'm saying? People under his label, but he's not the only one. There's multiples of that. There's Lucci going through the exact same thing. Um, in y'all opinion, would you say that things have escalated, just how the law enforcement deal with the artists today as opposed to 10 years ago or 11 years ago or even 20 years ago, dare I say? I'm getting too old here.
You hear us for it. I'm getting too old. Oh man. I feel like I feel
my
like
bad. What
I
was the
feel like
last
that
thing?
was on purpose. Yeah, ask him again, Score.
Basically in a nutshell, Suave, in what we've seen with the hip hop police over history, would you say that it is escalated to this point, using the point of reference of Young Thug? You know what I'm saying? With full blown indictments where they're actually doing the fucking RICO on rappers.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I'm sorry, but would you say that there's been like an escalation from the first encounters with hip hop cops to now, or what have you seen, in your opinion?
Well, I mean, like I said, the what we would call hip hop police back in the day was just police that knew the neighborhood because they walked the beat. Yes, it escalated into a central intelligence. You know what I'm saying? Its own little entity where they target these people who have contracts with these record companies. It was actual hip hop police following these artists around, waiting on them to do something. Um, getting warrants to tap people's phones and stuff like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
it easily escalated. Them knowing when you're landing and what you got on your plane already. Them knowing when you're coming through certain cities. That's not a coincidence. I don't believe Sandra Bland was a coincidence. I believe that those people, Texas people, knew she was down there, informed by Chicago. So I know when it comes to stuff like this, they really dig deep. They really fucking home in on people. They're not just guessing. They're doing stakeouts, wiretaps. They're doing drug dealing with these people. Nicholas Pickles in a building. Shout out to you, sis. They doing Lilith's Revenge. Also, shout out to you. They dealing with these people. Like I said, these, and there's no absolute. Okay, I have to get that clause. But these people
Just your opinion.
these people that's giving out these
Just
record
how you
deals and
feel
breaking
about
off all of this bread, you don't think they already got a plan for what this rapper going to spend that money on? Oh, I know someone who sells Corvettes. I know someone who sells fine clothing. I know someone who sells weed, guns, coke. It's an economy. It's money. It's business. They not. Come on, man. That's like you being part of going to a family reunion and not talking to your fucking family and doing it for 10 years and nothing ever coming out of it. You're gonna learn each other, know each other. It's gonna. So yes, the hip hop police, which is now the hip hop feds. You know,
Right.
this is their thug thizzle. And like I say, they didn't come up with nothing new. Like you said, they used the RICO Act. If any group of people is connected to an entity that commits a crime, is guilty of that crime. What the fuck? In hip hop.
But wouldn't you say, like, and I'm glad that you said that. So now I got a sub question for your ass. Wouldn't you say, like, it would be natural for there to be some form of connection within the rap community? Because, like, let's say you have your young dudes that you're trying to put on and get and build a presence for, right? So they're connected to you, right? Now you got your other artists that you're already pushing, people that you're doing records with, people that are coming to you for you to get features from. Like, wouldn't that widen the net naturally?
Absolutely. And then when you want to talk about artists being introduced to you, some of these people are the fucking police. Some of these people are people
What? Say that one more time. One more time. I don't think the audience heard you.
These people are plants. Industry plants aren't here just to have the tightest verses. They're plants. Some of these people are the police, and some of them might have been in the street and took that deal. And this is how they get down.
And it's like when it changed over to rap, it began to perpetuate the ills of our society. You know what I'm saying? Like it went from building ourselves up to, you know, and somebody said in the chat they lied about it till it became true. It went from us telling ourselves we were so great until we recognized and was empowered to, you know, us buying into the lies about ourselves. You feel me? And I can admit in my own perspective how I did that. Like I remember being a kid in the neighborhood, and before I started selling drugs at one point, or call myself, so I wouldn't even say I did enough to even call myself that. But anyway, I tried. You feel me? But it was like the Caucasian people coming in the neighborhood talking about, man, you got XYZ, and realizing I was broke. That led to me saying, you know what, the next time somebody asks me, I'm going to have something. You feel me? But then I had too big of a heart to even keep that shit going. I was giving shit away. You know what I'm saying? Seeing people messed up and shit to the point I'm like, you know what? It gets to a point that you start to see the divide. Because, see, Swag was born 79. Me and Brandon, like, after 86? I'm 86. So when you get to thinking about by the time we came along, it still was hip hop. But the change from rap was like, I feel like early 90s. Would you say that? Yeah, so like early 90s.
I would say late 80s.
Late 80s.
Yeah, I believe
early 90s, I agree.
The instant hip hop was born, rap was created to divert us. The instant somebody said a hip hop, a hippie, somebody was put out there. I fuck your girl. I'm a pimp, the local hustler. I'm your pusher.
Mm-hmm.
But which mentality is being encouraged?
Which one is being
publicized? Which one is able to use these industry machines to gain momentum?
Influence the mass.
And then you talking about in a country that's majority white, if we were able to broken glass everywhere ourselves, they don't want to hear that. And if you're not crossing over and selling to the majority, they say that's a reason they're not even going business with you. We're targeting to make money. So what are we going to do? We're going to target the largest crowd. What's the largest crowd? The non-black crowd.
Mm-hmm.
The black crowd is the minority. You can't, if you sell a record to every black person in America, you're not doing
What the top artists.
part
You're
of what
not
you're
doing
crossover.
well. Tell them the truth. You're not doing well.
If you cross over, you know what I'm saying? Like that, that means something. But like I say, it's the elements are there. It's just where do you point the camera at? Do you point the camera at the small group of people doing this, or do you point the camera at the family reunions, the churches full of, the parking lots full of, the parks full of black people doing positive stuff? Or do you point it to that one corner where them guys hang out?
They put a microscope on that thing, bro.
You hear me? And you study the people over there doing positive shit to corrupt that. And all the while you study the people that's doing the positive shit, you perpetuate the motherfuckers doing the foul shit that
Or
you done corrupted.
you wait till one of the people from the corner go over there and speak to their cousin and say, y'all in on this too.
Mm-hmm. And
Y'all,
but you know, I feel like that's the American. That's what became what I call the fail-proof system of America, bro. Anytime there was a tragedy, because I mean that's where the fail gonna happen. But anytime there was a tragedy, it was publicized. And if you think about even with our wars, you know what I'm saying, they'll show you something going on overseas, and if you know somebody over there and ask them how they doing, they don't know nothing about what you talking about was on the news. But here it is, like you said, they'll point the camera at this one group of people that's over here fighting amongst themselves. You feel me? And say this is the whole community, and it's like, bro, that's where we got caught up, and or that's where our image got caught up, and that's why I feel like it's important for us to speak out, because if you don't speak out, then it seems like the majority of us is, we okay with that shit, as well as that's what we do.
Complicit, right?
Mm-hmm. Like, bro, don't get me wrong. I was up to there at 1 o'clock in the morning last night. I was like, bro, I can't, you know what I'm saying? But my spirit was driven to say, man, you know what? I know I got a voice at this point. You feel me? And I worked hard to, create that lane. So at this point, when it comes time that we supposed to speak out on certain topics, man, I can't be quiet. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just sit back and be quiet, and then when it comes to your kids, you want everybody to feel sorry. You know what I mean? Like, one of my favorite statements that I always paraphrase for my people, you know what I'm saying? I always say, when they dogged out the mothers, I said nothing because I wasn't a mother. When they dogged out the fathers at the time, I said nothing because I wasn't a father. So when it came time for them to talk shit about me, wasn't nobody there to defend me. And it's the same thing on so many different levels. Like, we have to speak out about certain shit, even though it's uncomfortable for us at times. Even though we want to just sit back and chill. You know what I'm saying? It's like, nah, bro. You gotta tell the truth where the truth need to be put.
Mm-hmm. You're not. It. I can't say it ain't easy because it's easy. It gets easy.
That's why I feel like we can condition ourselves to do anything. That's the beautiful thing.
What the truth is, it's easy. You know what I'm saying? It's just when you start. I used to say the devil don't bother his own.
Mm-hmm.
When you're willing to do the devil work, shit could be sweet for you.
Hell yeah.
But the moment you be like, nah, I want to do this, that's what you say, baby?
That only lasts for so long. That's what just
Hell yeah.
Stay forward. You know what's right and what's wrong. You're not giving into and looking at what the next wicked person or the evil person or wicked person is doing and envying or, admiring how they're getting there. Mm-hmm. That's where standing faithful comes in.
That's what's popularized around us, looking at the person that's doing wrong. Like what he say, the dope man, the only man I knew that wasn't broke, man. But he's selling to his mother, his father. Right. He's selling to your mother, your father. Mm-hmm. So where your value system at? Because you knew to honor your mother and your father. When did you fall off? When did you fall away from that? When these other value systems come in, the people are the greatest value. Not the money, not the drugs, not the material things. People. With people, you can have it all. We can manufacture us a card, give each other one. People are the greatest resources. I wish I knew exactly which videos, because we spoke on these things so many times. If you recognize it, one thing about truth is that it's uniform. It's uniform. And if you go back 2, 3 years, 4, 5 years, you can go back 7, 8 years with me on my Swab Boss 26 channel, it's the same message. It's the same message. We was trying to understand certain things. We was trying to work towards certain things. There wasn't as much as a clarification. It wasn't much as, the knowledge of wisdom, access to resources, people that we could call to talk about things. But you could tell the evolution. You could tell it. Yeah. Like, people who was wise in the earth could look at it where we was and predict that this is where them boys would be. Because they knew what we was going to run into. They've seen it before. Somebody came to the store the other day, was like, in the 60s, I used to say, black power, now I can't stand black people. They've been here before. He didn't end up there on the flip of a coin. He walked that walk, saw what he saw, and came to that conclusion. It's what hasn't been seen that we got to stand on. We ain't seen this. Yeah. No,
That's facts. That's true. And
yeah, this is what we have
time.
that we kind of need.
We see that too many times, and that's, to me, I feel like a lot of times we play, all of us, we play a part in those people becoming disenchanted or spirits being broke, because it's one thing when you got a Dr. Sebi telling you about health, but without his family members stepping in and doing the work too, he could have easily lost sight. You know what I'm saying? But when we not participating,
you heard of that motherfucker, Mr. Beast?
Mr. Beast, yeah.
Nah, ain't he like healing and stuff?
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? But when it was Sebi, it was nothing. And we talking about somebody who was 80 when he passed, still having babies.
Man, still being able to drop down on the concrete ground and get back up.
Jump back up. We talking about somebody who was taken to court by the feds for claims of healing things, and he got the case dismissed because he proved he healed these things. That should have been immediately implemented. But now you got all these yoga and chakra and people from other cultures selling it to you. You don't even the system that Sebi got his intelligence from, you tried to destroy.
Man, come on,
you
bro.
Went and fucked these indigenous people up, and he went and got these indigenous herbs and healed people. Paralysis, eczema, blindness, cancer, HIV. And if you state that you do these things in public places, if you print it, you could be brought up on charges if it's untrue. He did it. But now we got Mr. Beast that's for some reason the shit. And I wonder what the fuck he was doing 20 years ago when Sebi was healing people.
Shit, his ass young.
Defending himself with no shoes on.
It's like they pick what's palatable, you feel me, what's socially accepted type shit. Like, they wasn't, like, if we be for real, the reason why herbs and all of that stuff wasn't purported back then was because they couldn't figure out a way to make money off of the shit. You know what I'm saying? Because they couldn't patent the shit.
Absolutely.
You feel me? So now that they feel like, oh man, we can't stop them from getting it and they still buying it, you know what? Now every fucking company, from the body wash companies to the lotion companies, they all incorporating this shit now. You feel me? When all the while, guess what they was doing to begin with? They was getting us to go in their laboratories and created synthesized versions of the shit from chemicals. You feel me? And once they start seeing we went back to our natural ways, they like, okay, we can't stop them from doing that, obviously. Well, we gonna find a way to capitalize off of it. Oh, we gotta knock off the people that's been the leaders of the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like right before COVID, we was talking about what? All these naturopathic people that's coming up missing. You know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden, here they come hit us with some shit that it wasn't even that fucking complicated. But we didn't have motherfuckers around that knew how to, you know what I'm saying, break that shit down at the time. Or the people that already had the platform that could have just squashed that shit overnight. They took them people out. Like, nah, hell nah, we got to get this person out the way, get this person out the way. And they do it during that it used to be every generation, like we was talking about earlier today. But now it's like every 3 years, maybe every 2 years. You know what I'm saying? The time span is getting shorter and shorter before them to have to run their game on this. Because they've been sitting back watching this shit for
Because
so
we not
long.
talking. You can't
Yeah.
pull COVID off on people who went through the Spanish flu.
Man.
You can't. They been through that. They know what's up. I'm finna cover my motherfucking face and change how I eat.
You can't give a vaccine to people who
Shout out
know
to
about
Yanga.
testing. Who?
Younger, brother Younger.
What's up with it, Younger?
Bro, I know Younger went through something recently, man. Strength to you. I hope you know.
Oh man, yeah.
The link is
to you.
at the top of the chat. You are welcome in the room, brother.
Yeah, strength to you. You know, we have our our battles and debates, but it's always love, family first.
Like Tiff say, it's more money in dealing with the symptoms than curing the actual disease.
That's facts.
If I keep you coming back for medicine, I keep getting paid. If I give you the cure once, it's not. So where's your value system? Whose value system is this? Tell me, whose value system is this when you can get food free, water free, minerals free, metal ore free? Who decided to turn around and charge who for that? And if we decided that, why we don't lead it?
Man, you feel?
How? So I mean, come on, you can see how it is.
It's that scarcity mentality, you know what I'm saying? Like when you come from a background of not having shit, like, but for a lot of us, we don't think back that far. We don't study enough history to know that the same people that we think are in power, or the people that we allow to perpetuate their power on us, they come from a scarcity background. So of course they're gonna always play that game to where, I'm gonna capitalize about $1 because they fearful of the day that they don't have none. Even though they've been hoarding this shit for all this motherfucking time. You feel me? Like quit playing the game. You feel me? Like, bro. You know what? The moment that I stopped wanting money, bro, man, I wind up like, I remember a time, bro, that if I had $20 on my cash app, right, I would be mad if somebody took, like, one of the companies that I'm connected to with my card, if they took a fee out, because I would be like, dang.
When Netflix took that $17.
You feel me? But now, bro, you know how long we've been talking this I don't give a fuck about money shit. I care more about the person type shit, to the point now the same things that we was doing online, encouraging each other, having real talk conversations with each other, no matter the walk of life or background. Now I get paid to do that shit, bro. And really, it's a community service. Like, you ever heard of somebody getting paid for community service? Like, and I'm not trying to say that to glorify myself, but what I'm saying is, once you put yourself at a certain vibration, everything else starts to magnetize towards you. That's a part of that shit. But as long as you keep being distracted by this conversation or what this person says is important, you can't never focus in to get yourself right, to magnetize the life that you feel like is important to your purpose. Why can't? What do you say? Why you can't?
Care about both. You know what he was talking about?
Care about both what?
Care about both what? Littlest Revenge. Yeah, man. When you, like I said, if you go to art school, you get better at art.
Yeah.
When you go to music class, you learn how to play instruments. When you're in the street, you get to plug on guns and weed and dope.
Yep.
When you're in the institution of community service, you get on that. Of course, Elizabeth Vivian said, people and money. Why can't you care about both?
I think you can. I think the emphasis should be more so on the people rather than just the money.
Yeah.
I don't think you can care about money. You can
Money just come with it.
utilize money. You could gain money. You could love money. I don't think you could care about money. I don't think you should be able to do to money what you do to humans.
Right.
It's a different thing. It's a different thing. Now, I understand the usefulness of money. This is not an anti-get your bag speech.
Right. No, hell
It
no.
never will be.
Because money just comes with whatever you doing in life. You feel me? I was just saying, not to cut you off, excuse me, bro. Money just come with whatever you doing in life. You feel me? It's the currency of whatever your actions is. Now, if you have a connection to money that you say, like Swab was trying to tell you, he not saying that he against people getting a bag, but if you feel like you don't deserve to have one, guess what? The energy that you putting out gonna keep you from getting the bag. But once you disconnect from caring about it, is what I'm saying. Once you disconnect from caring so much about it that you have a disdain for what you don't have or what you do have, it gets to a point where you just start to see that money come regardless. You know what I'm saying? But once you start using it as a tool, like Swab was saying, then you can begin to save it. Then you can begin to use it to help people that may need a little help. To show them, like, because for me, whenever I'm able to send somebody some money, when I used to be the one who always was asking for some money, that shit fucking hit different. It make the next person be like, hold on, what is he doing different now? And then at that point, now I can tell them, look, bro, I ain't do nothing no different than what I was doing at first when I first got on YouTube and said, if brothers and sisters could have conversations, we could resolve a lot more of the problems that we facing. That's the man, ain't nothing changed. I just stayed to that shit long enough to where my currency or the current situation I had with finances changed.
And anybody who's had money will tell you it's useless without
Man,
caring.
you ain't got nothing to do with it.
World, and if you ain't got nobody, you ain't got shit. You can have all the people in the world and never need a dollar. You can have all the people in the world and never need a dollar.
Yep.
So I mean, the true value is there. I like I said, I understand getting the bagging because you got to get resources. There's a monetary value. It's not the systems and the tools that's wicked. It's the people that run them.
Right.
If it's a predatory economic system, meaning what we're under, a debt system, fractional reserve banking, stuff like that, that's fucked up.
You hit that shit on the head. You hit that
That's
shit.
fucked up, But if we have a monetary system, because it's the dollar now, people, the border system, they used to use the tally stick. We had our ways of keeping record of how we trade resources. There's nothing wrong with that.
Man, Swab, you just said so much. You just said so much shit. I gotta come back in, bro.
Get it?
Get what I heard from everything you just said. We sitting over here blaming the kids for acting like they parents. Because if we in a predatory system, you feel me, and they doing us like this, how we gonna get mad at the people at the bottom for practicing what the fuck they see done at the top?
For what's beneficial.
You feel me? But at some point, if you want different in life, y'all, because even if you be for real, if you pay enough attention to what's going on in this country and how our country is being affected by how other people view our actions, you better change your ways too at some fucking point. Because we seeing how our country, like, I don't know if enough people done traveled enough to see that other countries don't fuck with us like that. They don't, it ain't that they scared of us, they don't like us.
They don't
like the ways.
We don't fuck with ourselves.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna honor what you don't honor. If you don't honor your relationship with your mother, your father, your brother, people gonna disrespect them like they see you disrespect. If they see you don't fuck with yourself, why would they fuck with you? Now I understand that they are purposely taught to disconnect from us, but we should have something that counteracts that, and we don't.
I mean, but they purposely taught that for protection reasons. It ain't somebody just being prejudiced. They like, darn, I see what y'all doing to y'all people. And then we see how your people believe in that shit so much that they perpetuating the shit. So who would want to be around that shit? Like, you know what I'm saying?
We don't want to be around it. We just have the obligation of saving them.
Yeah.
We don't want to be around it. But we are tied to it. It's our problem.
Yeah.
It's our problem. And if until we see past nationality and race, we're on our own.
Man.
But we didn't start the race game.
No.
Remember, we didn't have white people coming to our land and conquer us because we hated the fuck out of them. They was able to conquer us because we included them into our structures, our
We
system.
let them in.
How them got on the throne.
Yep.
Then Greek came so white. How do you think it became so dumb? How was the Roman Catholic Church able to become the most powerful spiritual institution on earth? How?
Because we allowed them to learn about some of our
Because we
systems
fucked
and
with them and we taught them.
Mhm.
We gave children guns. We gave people who were babies to this earth who didn't understand what they was going through
Right.
certain spiritual principalities, certain truths, and because they couldn't live by it, they mocked it, tried to destroy it, and implemented a false one. Oh no, this is what it is. They sold seats into heaven. If y'all remember when the fucking papacy was going broke, the Pope started selling tickets to heaven. He said he would talk to God and guarantee you a spot, and people bought it. Now, whether they
right.
believe, whether it was like an economic thing, or we just pulling this off like this, because sometimes it's like that too. But I guarantee you, there was hordes of people who gave them money who believed, one, they were going to heaven, or two, they saved someone who died from going to hell. This is the papacy. This is who Obama went to go kiss. How do they become this if we hated them so bad? They're on the walls of Kemet. Some people believe. I don't believe so. I don't see blonde hair, blue eyes on the walls of Kemet. But some people believe that the more pale-skinned person is, one is an Asian and one is what they call the Caucasian, the Europeans, or whatever you want to title them as. But it wasn't hate. And if my family terrorized your family for generations, I can understand the disdain you got for the next generation. I'm not going to act like, where did this come from? I would
Right.
understand why you have this discomfort with my presence. That's crazy to me. And now you even got black people that's in the way of black people. What they say, man, so we sick. How many times you gonna say? That never gets old. And it should be old by now. That's crazy. It should be old by now. But, man, so we sick. No, that motherfucker sick. Because when you get sick, he don't say, slave is we sick. That wasn't the story.
Yeah, nah, he might kill your ass off.
That wasn't the story. So I mean, I don't know. I'm pretty sure they you know, because a lot of these people they looked at it as property. They would take care of their slaves to certain ones. And they of course they wouldn't implement, you know, certain privileges and freedoms, but they didn't want them to die like that. I could you know, I could separate the two, but even now when the system calls for, when the system is built in that manner, you have to have a bottom class. There's a necessary poverty that's needed. Now, who the fuck you think? You think the wealthy people gonna be it? No, they have the wealth. And in the debt system we got, the wealthier get wealthier, the poor gets poor. We had banks, black-owned banks. We still talking about getting black-owned banks. We've had black-owned banks. We talk about it like this is something new. I don't. What you say, people? I'm going with you. I'm going to the store. Yeah, definitely gonna go to the store. Like I said, we got to get ready for tomorrow for Chris's open house. They said congratulations.
Thank you.
Also, I announced it at the beginning
I
of the
work
show.
hard.
Yeah, she worked hard. I put up the
I can now put professional transportation driver to school. School transportation driver on my resume.
nurse, a lot of stuff. Counselor. Yeah, no,
Oh man.
so I did enjoy this talk. We could jump it back off later. It's been 2.5 hours. So I'm finna go
Yes,
dedicate
sir.
some time to the house. Go to the store with my girl. We gonna like I said, we'll be back. We'll be back. I go back a lot. And I'm off tomorrow. The event is tomorrow. But I'll be, when things calm down, we might have some time early. Y'all see me. And I appreciate it. Yes, absolutely. So y'all already know, man. Brandon Gomez, something y'all want to say on the way out?
Congrats to the queen on her efforts. Congrats to y'all on y'all efforts together. As well as y'all already know I love you as myself, family. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Score, where you at?
Congrats to you, Suave. Congrats to y'all on y'all endeavors. Um, and love to everybody. Love and peace to everybody.
Man, I love you too, bro.
That's hard. And y'all, Belle, something you want to say?
Nah, I just appreciate it. We got to celebrate this young man and keep putting in him that, hey, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you.
That's what's up.
Just to keep trying to do the right things, keep spreading love. So, seeking him.
Peace.
Factuals. Yeah, man, I appreciate everybody, man. Hit that like button on y'all way out. This the boy Suave, boss of the Argument League, man. AOI up, snapping off in the building, man. Keep your head on the swivel so you see all the bullshit, man. Keep your head on the swivel. Keep your head up so you can see it coming. Man, may you have, passion, and may you have progress in the lanes you got passion for, because work is work, but it ain't got to be torture, man. It's the boy Suave, boss. I say black power and peace, man. I love y'all. Till next time.
Love you, bro.
We out.
Peace.